What is going on, everybody? It is Dylan with Astro DFS, and in today's video, I'm going to go over the NFC South Fantasy 2026 offseason outlook. And again, this is just if you're a fan of this team, this is what you basically have and what you have to look forward to. Obviously, there's still a lot of cuts as we're seeing currently right now, Miami making some cuts and stuff like that. Um, Cuts can still happen. Resignings can still happen, trades can still happen, like all of this, but this is kind of the basis to go off of moving forward and just seeing what you have for fantasy, right? Not the whole team, not the whole roster. I'm not all about that, just fantasy. So let's get into it with the Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young at quarterback. That's your guy going forward right now. I think Bryce Young's done a pretty damn good job for what he has offensively, making it work, right? We've seen some lows out of Bryce Young, but we've definitely seen some highs. We've seen some really good games out of Bryce Young. I think once his offense starts to develop, right, the thing you have to think about when you talk about the Carolina Panthers like fantasy team is how young they are, right? A very young Bryce Young. Chuba Hubbard, probably one of the vets on this team as far as experience. Rico Dowdle is a free agent, so he's not coming back. Jonathan Brooks has not played for this team. He has not. And then Trevor Etienne, another, they are finding some guys to fill in roles late in drafts or undrafted free agents. They're doing a good job doing that. Wide receiver, Tet McMillan, Xavier Legette, and Jimmy Horn Jr. are probably the three. Jalen Coker is a restricted free agent, so he can easily come back. And if I'm the Panthers, I would bring him back. I think he fit the role on this team quite well. Obviously, there are some upgrades that you could possibly get, but I think for what you have to pay someone like Jalen Coker, it makes sense to bring him back, right? You don't have a whole lot of cap space. You're paying a lot to some defensive pieces. Your offensive line, which is good. Your offensive line looked pretty damn good last season, so that was a plus. So bringing back Jalen Coker, I think makes sense. You roll with Tet, Xavier Legette, Jimmy Horn Jr. I think played for what he did. I think he played quite well. But going forward, you roll with Tet McMillan, you roll with Jalen Coker. I think those two guys are a nice 1-2 punch. Xavier Legette, I mean, once his deal's up, his rookie contract, I would not be surprised if he's traded or cut by the end of his contract. I think the experiment's over. I think drafting Tet McMillan the next year and what Tet McMillan brought to the team versus Xavier Legette is a clear cut decision there. So tight end, Jatavion Sanders, Mitchell Evans, those are your two guys. Jatavion Sanders has dealt with some injury issues. That's been a huge concern for him as well. But I think it's a solid piece. If you wanted to bring in another tight end in this draft class, or maybe a cheaper one through free agency, I think that makes a lot of sense. Jatavion Sanders hasn't totally shined compared to some of the other tight ends in his draft class and the draft class after him. But I think there's been some game film that is positive for him. So I like Jatavion Sanders, but I would not be surprised if they don't bring in somebody here as well. Running back, going back to that before I go into the last two, I expect Carolina to bring in somebody else. I think with the Jonathan Brooks situation, you can't, unfortunately for him, right? Unfortunate for him, but you can't depend on him to be healthy at this point. And Chuba Hubbard had some moments, but there were some really bad games out of Chuba Hubbard this season, so I could easily see them bring in a running back through free agency or the draft. And I went over this in yesterday's video, but if you guys haven't seen it, this is kind of, I mentioned it, this is a really good free agent market, especially for running backs, right? Breece Hall, Ken Walker, maybe, right? We'll see. Rashard White, Javonte Williams, Travis Etienne, Rico Dowdle, Isaiah Pacheco, Brian Robinson's out there. Kenneth Gainwell played really good for Pittsburgh. He'll definitely be a hot name to watch for. J.K. Dobbins been injury prone, but when he's not hurt, he does look really good. Tyler Algier is going to be a name to definitely watch for this offseason. And then there's just some other names down here, like maybe a Keaton Mitchell, maybe a Sean Tucker, just buried on the depth chart. But had some good games. So yeah, if you're looking at getting a running back, there's some solid running backs in this draft class, and then there's some solid running backs to bring in and boost your running back rooms as well, right? May not be the true cut starter, but can make that running back room competitive enough if you're not fully confident on a guy. So And then Carolina Panthers have 7 picks in this draft, so just basic draft class for them, and $11 million in cap space currently, right? Teams can find a way to create cap space. It's not that hard nowadays. You push money back, you go, oh, you push money back, you're going to end up like the Saints. Yeah, the only issue with the Saints is the Saints wouldn't be as bad if Derek Carr was playing. He's got a $59 million dead cap hit, which we'll talk about soon for Saints fans. So it's easy to create cap space, right? The cap is always, I won't say always, COVID kind of set it back, but historically it is always going up. So you could push that money back, create some cap now, add some pieces, and then worry about it in the future if things just truly don't work out. So going forward with the Carolina Panthers, yes, this team is the fantasy team is very young for the Carolina Panthers. You keep adding experience, you get experience in that offense. This team will continue to get better, in my opinion, right? You have Bryce Young, you have Tet McMillan. Those are a nice 1-2 punch to start building off of. So really good. Look forward to them this next season. Next is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which this team, at the beginning of the season, it seemed like Baker Mayfield was an MVP favorite. Really, really talented offense, just top to bottom, and it did not work out. They went downhill fast. I don't think we're going to have the same type of season out of Tampa Bay. I think they are going to be a top team in this division. They'll probably be the top team. And let's get into it. So Baker Mayfield at quarterback. Pretty cut and clear. Bucky Irving, as of right now, is the only true running back that's left from the 3. White is a free agent. Sean Tucker is a restricted free agent. So Tampa Bay could bring back Sean Tucker easily. But as of right now, it's pretty much Bucky Irving. Wide receiver, Chris Godwin. Mike Evans, technically, but he is a free agent. I don't expect them to bring him back. If you're a Tampa Bay fan, I think, hey, like, you were completely happy and satisfied of what Mike Evans did for you for his career, the contract and all that stuff. It's really tough to bring him back when you have a nice wide receiver room. You don't need the Mike Evans, right? He is great for Baker. It was great for this organization, but going forward, you're going to have to build out elsewhere. So Chris Godwin, you still have him. You still have Mecca Buka, who was one of the best rookie wide receivers last season. And then you have some young pieces, Jalen McMillan, Cameron Johnson, Tez Johnson. I think between those 3, they fill out that wide receiver 3 role perfectly, right? And that's why it makes sense to kind of move on from Mike Evans and kind of build your team in places elsewhere that you need it. So I think Chris Godwin and Mecca Buka, your 1-2 combo, and then you fill in Jalen McMillan, Cameron Johnson, and Tez Johnson. I think those guys, those 3, are a very talented wide receiver room in general. So I like that Tampa Bay wide receiver room. Tight end, Kate Otten is now a free agent, so you're left with Payne Durham and Devin Culp. Both those guys, I expect Tampa Bay to bring in a tight end through the draft or free agency. I don't see them going forward with those 2. I could be completely wrong, but I would just expect them to pick somebody up. And yet again, going to the tight end class for free agency, you have some names out there, right? Kyle Pitts is the headline of it, 25 years old. You have someone like Isaiah Likely as well. Travis Kelce, if he comes back, right, retirement seems like the thing. If he comes back, he's going to Kansas City. He's not going anywhere else. David Njoku is going to be a free agent. Cleveland and him have both said he's a free agent. And then you have Chig, you have Kate Otten, Dallas Goedert up there in age. Tyler Higbee's a name. And then you have some other just, guys that have had their moments, like a Noah Fant, a Darren Waller. But I mean, down here you're going pretty, just haven't seen much from a lot of these guys down here. So that's, like I said, you could bring somebody in through free agency, but I expect between free agency and the draft class, they bring somebody in. Tampa Bay has all 7 of their draft picks. They don't have any extra. They didn't trade any away. They have all of their own draft picks and $14 million in cap space. I would expect Tampa Bay, if they are going to really spend money this offseason, they could bring somebody in behind Bucky Irving. I fully expect that, right? Who they have on their cap right now, guys that really haven't played at all. So Tampa Bay is going to bring they're going to bring Sean Tucker back, or they're going to draft or sign somebody in free agency. There's not a scenario where they're rolling with Bucky Irving only. So expect them to bring in a running back. Wide receiver, I really don't see them bringing in anybody. I don't think they need to. Tight end, I definitely see them needing to bring somebody in there. So 14 million, I expect the defense to be in vocal point of where they spend cap this offseason, but we'll see what that looks like. Moving on to the Atlanta Falcons. This one is fun. Kirk Cousins is going to be cut. He's still on it technically, but he is going to be cut. They already said that. And then you roll with Michael Penix. If you're a Falcons fan, I just want to know how you feel about Michael Penix. I don't believe in him. I don't. I think he's too old. I think he just wasn't special. I think people were really hoping he was going to be something better. And I feel bad for him and Kirk Cousins. I mean, that situation was probably one of the worst I've seen a team do in a while, where you sign a quarterback like Kirk Cousins for the money you do and then draft an old quarterback. I think Michael Penix was 24 by the time the season started, which is not ideal for a rookie quarterback. I mean, Tyler Shough, you want to look really bad, look at Tyler Shough. But Michael Penix, I don't love drafting an old quarterback like that in the first round with a top 10 pick when you just signed Kirk Cousins for the deal you did. They put themselves in a really bad situation. But at running back, Tyler Algier is a free agent, so as of right now, it's basically just Bijan. There are some other guys on their cap, but they really haven't done anything in their career yet, so I'm not putting them on the list. Wide receiver, David Stills, I think, was a restricted free agent for him, so they could bring him back, but it's pretty much Drake London, Darnell Mooney, and Cardale Hodge. And I'm not really including Hodge as like a piece, but he was included somewhat in their offense. Yet again, they have some other names that have contributed, but nothing worth really adding on to this list. And then tight end, Charlie Warner is their guy. They're paying him 5.9, I think it was the number. Kyle Pitts is a free agent. We'll see what that ends up. 5 draft picks, no first round pick. 26 million in cap space, so there are definitely some routes that Atlanta can go. We'll see. If I was to assume what they do, they roll with Michael Penix one more year, right? You have a new OC. Maybe it works out better, right? That's easily a possibility. Running back, they're bringing somebody in behind Bijan, right? Bijan is a bell cow back. That is true. But what you don't want to do is overuse someone like Bijan Robinson. You don't want to do that. He's a special player when he is, I don't want to say rested, because you're never really rested, but when you can give him a break every now and then and make sure he's good to go, I think he's one of the best running backs in the league as far as explosive plays. It's just, he is amazing to watch. He truly is. Wide receiver, Drake London, Darnell Mooney, Cardale Hodge. They're bringing somebody else in. I can't see them rolling with Cardale Hodge. Darnell Mooney, Drake London. It's really been hard to see both these guys healthy and playing at the same time. So I expect them to bring in another wide receiver. I would expect a draft pick probably. Although for years they spent first round picks on their offense with Michael Penix, Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts. I mean, they spent first round picks on offense. I could see them spend another, I'm not first round pick, but I could see them spend maybe a day 2, day 3 pick, early day 3 pick on a wide receiver, bring somebody in, or they could bring somebody in through free agency. I think that's very likely as well. A cheaper, kind of guy to just fill into that wide receiver 3 role for them. At tight end, same thing. I expect them to bring in, at this rate, when you're paying Charlie Warner 5.9, you're probably going to draft a tight end and just go cheaper and hope you find somebody, because the tight ends lately have been amazing for teams as far as depth pieces or just taking over the tight end 1 spot. So I think teams are going to take more shots on these rookie tight ends than just kind of recycling the same ones over and over. So yeah, it's tough if you're a Falcons fan with no first round pick. You obviously, just going off topic a little bit since we're talking about fantasy, their defense, they had some really good hits on their defensive side in the draft. But to give away your first round pick, that's a top 10 pick, to the Rams and not make the playoffs, I mean, that is a tough look. That's why people got fired, is because of that decision. So yeah, if you're a Falcons fan, I mean, next year you're hoping to be competitive. against the other teams. There's quite a bit of holes to fill. I I just don't know. I don't believe in Michael Penix. He could definitely be better in a new offense with Kevin Stefanski, who's not calling plays, by the way. Bring in an offensive minded coach who's not calling plays. It's just amazing to me. So yeah. Moving on, last but not least, if you are a Saints fan, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. You have to endure another season in negative cap space going in to the offseason. Derek Carr is a $59 million dead cap hit to the team. He is off the books after this season. Next season is the season you look forward to. You just try to hope you guys hit the draft well with your 8 draft picks this season. Hope you build enough young pieces to when next season comes and it's another good draft class and you have, I think, a projected $115 million in cap space next season. They'll probably add more as well. I think next season is your goal of we are going to compete in the division. Now, you have a good head coach. He's a very, in my opinion, I think of his history of what he's done. He's a good offensive play caller. I don't know head coach wise how he is. He's a very good offensive play caller. We saw some ups with both Tyler Shough and Spencer Rattler last season. So this is your quarterback room. If I'm the Saints, these are my quarterbacks. I'm going with 27-year-old Tyler Shough, who was drafted a year after 26-year-old Spencer Rattler. And then go with Alvin Kamara, Kendre Miller, Audric Estime. I think if they don't save any money off of Alvin Kamara if they want to clear him for the books next season. I get it; it makes sense. But they don't save any money, I believe, from cutting Alvin Kamara. So let's roll with him. Kendre Miller, hopefully he's healthy. I was very excited for Kendre Miller last season, and then he got hurt again. So. And then Audric Estime, I think, is just a solid. He's like a goal line back, some guy that you hope gets in the end zone. But other than that, I don't think he's, fits in that running back one role because we saw it last season and it was not good. Wide receiver. If you go and look, we can actually look, but Chris Olave, and then I just put a lot of nobodies, right? And I'll show you guys what I mean when I say a lot of nobodies, right? We'll go to the Saints. We'll go to their wide receivers. And this is what I mean. Jalen Polk, Trey Palmer, Bub Means, Mason Tipton, Kayvon Austin, Ronnie Bell, Torrey, Vele, Cooks, Alfred. Like, there's a lot of bodies there, but I mean, is anyone proven? We don't know. So, yeah. And then tight end, Juwan Johnson is pretty much the only tight end left. Taysom Hill and Foster Moreau are both free agents. They're still, they could technically get picked up, but I don't think the Saints are going to do that. I think they're both gone. 8 draft picks and negative $40 million in cap space for the Saints. And yet again, I'll go back to it, Saints fans. If you guys are watching, this is your dead cap. This is your dead cap right here. 20% of your cap space is to a quarterback who retired 2 years ago. He's gone. And if you go and look at the dead cap hit, the Saints are now second. They were first, but now they're second. This season is just a let's build for next season type of season. If you guys can be competitive, by all means. But it's going to be a really good draft class next season for fantasy players. So there's some really good quarterbacks out there. Roll with Tyler Shough, roll with Spencer Rattler, go and have a nice top 5 draft pick, get a quarterback next season, bring in a wide receiver to help them out, right? Chris Olave is your guy. I think Chris Olave is a wide receiver 1 for this team. I think that's very cut and clear. He's a wide receiver 1. Bring in somebody with him, though. Tight end, you're going to be old. I get it. Roll with what you have, right? You're going to address some of these positions through the draft class. I get it. But just this year, just say, hey, if we have some nice pieces to build for next season, so next season we get our quarterback, we add some vets, we add some guys that are going to make this team competitive, look forward to that, because this season is just not pretty. I just don't think, unless something special happens, I don't think they have the roster to be competitive. Next season's going to be your guys' year to be competitive in this division, right? This division for years has been it's anybody's game, right? If you just go 9-8 now or 10-7, there's a good chance you win this division, right? That's not every division, but this division, that's how it's been. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know on these teams who you guys, if you are fans, who you guys want to sign in free agency. Let me know if you're not a fan of these teams, who you'd like to see be added to this team through free agency or the draft, right? I can only speculate on guys that I think would be nice pieces for these teams, but we've seen so many teams go different ways than what we all thought would make sense. So yet again, hope you guys enjoyed these videos. We'll keep continuing to roll these out this week and next week. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.